mobile workbench. We're gonna do a little quarterly service on this one. We're having a picnic, and the first thing on the menu is water tank filter. So we put our tank back in. We've got a shiny new filter in there. See if I can show you. Yeah, nice and shiny, brand new. We did have a broken wire on the tank light switch, so I have repaired that back up to OEM standards. So spade connector crimped on, and then heat shrink over the top of it. This one did not get that special treatment. That was one that I did a long time ago. But yeah, checked for leaks. No leaks coming from the filter and tubing down there. We're gonna wipe everything down with a clean, dry rag. We're looking at all of our elbows, hose tubing, quick connectors. We're looking for leaks, drips, puddles, anything that looks abnormal. This machine is pretty spotless inside and out, so it's gonna take me a significantly shorter amount of time to clean this compared to like my machine that's running hundreds of lanes a week. So we've got her wiped down pretty good inside. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lubricate our oil head bar, the bar that the oil head block travels on. I'm gonna give it a thin coat of 30 weight motor oil. So I've got a little dab on my finger, and I'm going to gently apply it over the surface of this head rail. We have to do that a couple more times, right? We got to get evenly across the whole thing, but for demonstrative purposes, we're just doing this area. I'm a little leery of wiping the dust off of the lids because we do have some autographs on these lids, and I don't want to damage them. So that part I'm going to skip, because I know that oil contains detergents and surfactants and can take this paint pen off. It actually will remove it. So we've got her stood up into the transport position. We're going to start top down. Momentary wheels. We're going to wipe down our cleaner head rail. We're going to wipe down our squeegee blades. We're going to wipe down our wheels, our chains, our bushings around here, our felt wicks, white guide roller wheels, lower drive shaft, chains, lower guide roller wheels. There's felt in here. We're going to wipe this out. Basically top to bottom. If I can reach it, I'm cleaning it. And then once it's clean, I'm going to go ahead and hit all of our lubrication points that would be on a quarterly service. So every one of these blocks has a bushing in it. It's going to need a couple drops of oil. The chain needs some fresh lubrication. There's a bushing in here on each side. Same with the bottom drive shaft and chain. There's a couple of bushings on the linkage that pivot the brush up and down, and the squeegee up and down pivot points. Those all need some lubrication. I'm not going to do all of that on camera because it's going to make for a really long video, but it's important to know where these points are, right? So this might be something to note here. It looks like we've got some fresh oil or cleaner water mix off of this in the elbow area here. So we want to take a good close look at this after we're done wiping everything down. It's important to get in all of these little grooves in the wheels. What they do is they kind of allow the lane conditioner to stay in between these grooves on the lane. And then after 10 to 15 minutes, that oil kind of smooths out. If these get junked up, they get plugged up, the grooves wear down, all that oil gets pushed all the way out. This will actually leave kind of a bald spot on the lane. And it's really going to affect how that lane condition plays. So it's super important. All of these grooved wheels should be kept spotless, ideally. So I'm taking a look at the elbow. I don't see any cracks, but there's a couple areas where this plastic's getting kind of thin. What we're going to do, we're going to cut it back 2 or 3 ribs and then reattach our hose clamps, and that should take care of this issue. It looks like maybe I've already loosened these up, but they may not have just simply been tight enough to begin with. I thought that this might be some micro cracks forming in here, but besides the camera not focusing too well, I did put some water in the elbow and watch it. It's not leaking. So this is not a crack. This might be some kind of surface defect or something, but nothing to worry about. Fun fact, I left the cap off of this accidentally, right? And then I stood it up into the operating position. I only filled this up to leak test it just enough to where the float switch wasn't giving an error. And conveniently enough, that's just enough water to where it won't spill out if you stand it up and the lid was off. I lifted the thing up and I saw the cap like that. And everything in here is perfectly dry. So super lucky on that one. But yeah, try to avoid lifting the machine up without the reservoir cap firmly in place. She's looking pretty good. Oh, wow. Specto. Hose is making a weird noise on the inside of the lid. I might have it wrapped wrong. Yeah, I had that hose wrapped wrong. It was scraping the lid kind of weird, but we're good now, right? Yeah, the fluid outputs are good after we've adjusted them. We changed our filter screen in the water tank. We did basically a quarterly clean and lube service. And then we ran it a couple of lanes, and everything is looking really, really good. So the last thing we're going to do on this is run a motor speed check, make sure all the drive motor speeds are running at the proper speed, and then we'll bounce on to the Pinsetters. So everything on this machine looks absolutely perfect. So we're going to power it down. We're going to close our lid. We're going to empty our waste recovery tank, and then we're going to jump into Pinsetters. So we're going to put all of the machines into diag. We're going to turn them on, we're going to run them, we're going to listen for pops and squeaks and anything that might kind of sound abnormal. The other thing we need to do for sure, the last time I was here, I did the sweep wagon roller wheels, say that 3 times fast, on this lane. So we're going to go ahead and do them on the other 3. I'm pretty sure they're due for it. These just happened to be a little bit noisy the last time we were here. Alright, so our first 3 lanes here, our sweep wagon roller wheels have been lubricated and checked, and they all look in really good shape. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to go through, I'm going to lubricate the outside distributor lane belts. I lubricate them on the front side of the machine because the belts travel in that direction. It's going to disperse the oil through the rails that way. And then I'll go to the back side, the 2 center rails. I'm going to lube them back there because they travel this way. Ooh, that was almost a dirty hand gesture in a foreign language, sorry. They're going to travel this way and distribute the belt through the belt tracks that way. The last time I was here, I thoroughly wiped down all of the belt tracks, and they all look really clean still. I also wiped down the top side and the bottom side of the round belt, right? I just grabbed the whole belt back there and let it run through a rag, and it cleaned the entire surface of the belts. So they probably don't need that again. I'll probably end up just doing the top side surface of the belts where the pins ride. The T-band adjustments, T-band tracking adjustments all look really good. I don't hear any major pops or squeaks or weird noises. All of the pins are properly on spot. They do have a pin on the setting table here on lane 3. We'll have to lower the setting table down to get it out because I can't get it out right now with the table in the up position. And maybe we'll spend a little bit of time trying to see if we can figure out what happened, why that pin is on top of the setting table and not properly placed in a pin holder. Ideally, this would be done with 2 hands, but we're aiming our oil tip, right? We just want to make a thin line of oil, nothing major, under each one. So this one, this one, this one, this one, and then the shark. Here's something that is a little bit annoying. I've got it in motor and I'm on the sweep motor, but take a listen. Ding, ding. Normally that's not any big thing, but if we're being ultra picky, we're gonna take care of that. Because that's a question that's come up a couple of times, is how do I stop that sweep arm, that sweep, from hitting the frame? So think about all of our pivot points and everything here. When the sweep is back, that crank arm is pointing back, the link is back. This pivot kind of becomes a fulcrum, right? Think of like a teeter-totter. If we push the top end back of a seesaw, right? If we go down on this side, the other side goes up, right? That's a pivot. We're going to loosen this plate and this plate, and we're going to push this sweep shaft rearward as far as it can go. We're going to pitch it away because the arm down here below our pivot point is hitting the frame. Seems pretty simple, right? I don't know if you can see that these link plates kind of, they're not totally parallel, they're kind of doing like that. So we're going to loosen the clamping bolt on the crank arm here, and we're going to slide that away from the side frame just a tiny bit. That could have been tighter. Let's see if we can pry bar. 17mm wrench pry bar. That looks a whole lot better. So let's go ahead and we'll tighten it down there. Reverse. Ow. Knuckle buster. I don't need any more of those. Again. That bolt head is slightly rounded. Yeah. Super tight. It's going to be a little bit awkward. We've got 6 bolts here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They appear to be 13mm. Yes, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen all of them a little bit. They don't need to be stupidly like flip-flopping around or anything. Just enough to where we can slide our mounting plate here. A little bit. Just barely break them free. How much wiggle room do we have? Not much. We have some foot wiggle room. Not really. I don't think I've missed anything. Unless the powder coat paint is bonded itself between these two parts. Now try a little bit more loose. In place. Body weight? I don't know. Oh, if I dip my toes down here, there we go. Here. So with my foot right here, I'm going to be pushing up and forward here, which is going to flex that towards the rear there. Then we can tighten everything down, huh? I like that idea. Should have worn some more heavy-duty footwear. Well, hold on, we're going the wrong way. We need to go tighter. Not looser. There's one. And two. Good, now I can unjam my foot and tighten the rest of these bolts down without having to contort my body so much. Don't forget, we're only halfway done. We gotta do the other side too. Yeah. I'm not entirely convinced these bolts were torqued down very tight from the factory. They are going to be tight when we're done. Yeah. All right. So let's torque our first two down. Make sure that those are exceptionally tight as well. There we go. All right, let's do the other side. This side's going to be a little more interesting because we've got a table drive shaft and sprocket in the way. So we might have to come up with something a little more creatively creative. I know that for the top side, I can use a socket with an extension to go through our V-belt and pulley for the cable drive. Or pardon me, this one is the sweep drive. We can loosen up our top two bolts easily. The lower two are going to be somewhat of a challenge. We need a shorter socket. Let's try that again. Maybe. No. Alright, speed wrench it is. find my other 13 mil speed wrench. Ah, it's in my pocket. Okay. Not to worry. Yeah. Maybe we will worry. Because I can't get to those easily. Now, why don't we backtrack ever so slightly here? We know we've shifted the side that was clanking, right? Ugh. Let's see if that's enough. Let's tighten up what we loosened and retest. No, we've only changed one variable at a time that way. Got the hand cramps on that one. I made it very tight. I can't. I'm on the wrong bolt on the inboard side here. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's clear our tools off. Let's clear our people and our phalanges out of here, and we will run it in sweep only. Well, in motor on sweep, and see what we get. So we're in motor. We're gonna run. Weird, the accelerator should have kicked on, and we should have gone into our specific motor. We're probably off back there. Let's see if we can if we can give her the old reach around here. It's good to have long arms. We can't open that door, then we have to do our whole rocket launch code procedures. So let's try this again. We're in motor. Distributor motor is selected. We want to change that to sweep. I'm on the wrong lane. Oh my goodness. Hold on. There we go. Distributor. Table, sweep. Our sweep is down. You can't see it, but it's down. Let's run it. No more clank. There you go. Done. This is also the lane that has the pin on the setting table. So let's go into diag. Let it run. And then when it's, can you see it right there? We're going to shut it off right there. Unfortunately, with the residential install, we can't just hop down. So we're going to go out that way, back around, and down that way. Yeah, I don't know where it came from. But let's... That did not work. A lot of times, these wedges will get bent. You have a jam, it bends a wedge, then you have a whole bunch of jams. I'm not seeing any that look bent, so we don't know. We don't know yet. All of our pins are being placed properly on spot, so chances are pretty low that it's a misalignment between a pin holder here and the distributor frame. So yeah, we may not find an answer on this one just yet. That video ended kind of abruptly because I was not alone. We were working with Gary and you know, I didn't really ask him if he wanted to be in any videos, nor did he really offer. But, you know, these are the kind of things that you're going to need to face out on the road by yourself. And somebody had asked me a couple months ago, what kind of tools do I need to be a really good on-the-road traveling mechanic? I don't want to be an on-the-road traveling mechanic, but my advice, the best tool you have is your knowledge, right? So, build up your base of knowledge. Understand why things do what they do and what causes them not to do the things they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. That's kind of the whole mission and vision of making videos like this, is to help people increase their level of knowledge.